Like, look, whether you
All right, got it.
okay. No, we live. Go ahead. I'm done. Go ahead.
All right, yo, come one, come all. It's time to grow. Welcome to the Dorian Adams Motivation Show. This is where we discuss faith, family, finances, friends, and fitness, not in that particular order. What we're going to do today, number one, is welcome the souls that have joined the call and appreciate you for being here. Number one as well, should have came first and foremost, is I want to take a second to invite and acknowledge the creator, and however you choose to acknowledge and appreciate him, into the conversation, and ask that he allow us to be 100% pure, humble, and intentional about what we say and do on this call, and that we invite that he impacts the people that's on this call to make them better people and find the best iteration of themselves in the near future. This call today was inspired by one of the brothers on the call, Kapil. I'll give him his props. I'm gonna call him out. I didn't have a topic. I didn't know what I was gonna say. I didn't even know. I wasn't even gonna do a call. And the brother came and he asked me, what's up? Right? And so I'm like, okay, let's get it. And then I called him a little while later and asked him, well, what are we gonna talk about? The truth of the conversation was, he said, yo, let's talk about recovery. And I'm gonna tell you like this, I identified with that topic because I'm actually a recovering addict, right? And so I respect that. I'm like, I could rock that all day, but I wanted to make sure we were able to invite everybody into the conversation. So we decided to name the call Protecting Your Mental Health. What I want to do is back off of the talk piece and let Kapil welcome us into the conversation, and we'll go from there.
All right. Thanks, Dorian. Kapil. I'm also in the program. I'm a recovering addict, alcoholic, and an addict too. You know, the way like my life was like just growing up, like I grew up in this household of in a hotel motel environment, and so it was very like I never got the actual life like as a kid that should have. Go to bed on time, go to school, all these little things that a kid needs to grow up, and I grew up also in Redding, California. So just think about that. We were the minorities and we were a target. And the people that we rented out these rooms, they were just low income people. That was my life growing up. And then also like my father, he's an alcoholic himself. So my mom had to get a second job. She had to get a second job to really like, get for our clothes and stuff like that. And so I did, I wanted to go help my mom because, my mom did everything for me, and all I wanted to do is just make sure that my mom was good. So I went to go help her at her job, right? And this is where I found out that there's an ism to our disease. People who are in recovery, there's an ism to this. So basically, I got molested as a child at our work, and that right there, I didn't know in our family, like in this Indian culture, we don't know how to reach out, and just everywhere. No one knows how to reach out and tell their family, like, hey, this is what's going on. This is what happened to me. Instead I kept it. I never told anyone for years and years. I never told anyone. I didn't know how to deal with my emotion. I didn't know how to deal with people. I didn't know how to deal with anyone. So until I met alcohol and I started drinking, and everyone's like, "Damn man, this guy's hella funny. He's hella cool." you know, and it was good. Like, you know, I was having a good time until I started getting in trouble in alcohol. You know, I got in trouble. I got multiple DUIs. You know, let alone up to 4 DUIs. You know, I went to jail for 6 months. You know, and I got out, and I thought that, you know what, I'm just not gonna drink and drive. Um, I always thought that it was the other people who had the problem and they were after me. So I never thought that I was always I always just play the victim, you know? And then you know, you know, it was around like 2022 around this time when I got sober. So you know, when during COVID, you know, I was doing other substance, cocaine and alcohol, and I was pacing back and forth around my house like a crazy person, you know. And I was on one for 4 or 5 days, you know, peeking out the blinders, trying to like, what the fuck, you know, someone's watching me and this and that, all that kind of stuff. And I'm like hearing voices now. Now this is where I'm here. This is where the voices are getting to me. The voices were one of the voices says, "We're gonna hurt your family," you know. The other voice says, "Well, if you take yourself out of the picture, um, then no one's gonna hurt your family." So I decided to have a exit plan in my life at that point, you know, and it was on March 3rd of 2022, and I um I I reached out to my family because I knew that I had to be honest with them, and I knew that I was just finding an exit. I was looking for an exit for myself, and I called my parents and, you know, my sisters. They came right away and had this one line on the table. And my brother-in-law says, "That's one line. Like, what is it to one line? You know, why don't you just if you wipe that line off the table and do whatever, right? You could do anything." But then I did that, and then it made me think like, okay, I can stop. I can stop. And so, you know, I worked this program. I did this outpatient program, and I worked this program, and then I started going to AA, and I I still had reservations in my head that I knew that, oh, okay, if I could do 90 days, I'll be fine, because that's the mind, that's the thinking of an alcoholic or in recovery. People that have these addiction problems, they're always thinking that, oh, you know what, if I can handle doing something, like if I can do it for 90 days, I should be fine. That's the kind of thinking. Well, I went to this meeting, and this girl was sharing the meeting, and she called on me that day, and she said, like, you know, it's step one. What are you powerless over alcohol? Well, that very same day, I got in an argument with my dad because I was about 60 days sober, and I said, if I can do it, you can do it. And I see this mirror reflection of myself and him, and I can see that he's powerless over this disease, and I can see him. He was just he wanted to cry, you know, because he couldn't control it. And that very same day, I went to that meeting, and let alone I don't like sharing this in public with people, a bunch of strangers, right? This is at that time when I'm like, I don't like talking to people about my problems. Well, I knew that that day I had to be honest. Well, I did that, and it was the biggest spiritual awakening that I had. It felt like God put a blanket over my head, and it was this white blanket, and all I could do was just say the truth. And as soon as I said that truth to the group of people, I felt like this weight was, you know, it was off of me. And then I realized that I'm in these programs for a reason now. And you know, my overall thing is that protecting your mental health is a very big important thing, because you cannot let other people dictate your life. And these people will try to dictate your life. They'll try to control you, because people always been trying to control people. You gotta let God in and let God tell you how to deal with your life. And you know, your life is a journey. Your life is a journey, man. You gotta go out there and help people out as much as you can. because the overall goal too, again, we want to go home. You know, we don't want to be here as long as, you know, because this earth is not, you know what I mean? It's not. It's, um,
Hey, can I? Phil, I don't want to step on your toes, man.
no, go ahead.
You mind? Dorian, you got something? Dorian, your mic not on, Dorian.
Oh, my bad. Whoever that is with the noise in the background, mute yourself.
Hey, that was me. My bad. I had the TV on still.
Okay.
No, you good.
Yeah, I'm signing off.
Watching Ricky Lake, huh?
Nah, it's the voice.
Okay. Yeah, that
Yeah,
too.
it's the voice.
Well, no, man, bro, Kapil, bro, appreciate you for setting us up with that. In my opinion, bro, you dropped so many nuggets right there. Because we talking about protecting your mental health.
Yeah.
And a lot of what you said, I can identify with it. And the fact of the matter is that a lot of this stuff pertaining to my mental health, I've been piling on and carrying since I was a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so when I think about protecting my mental health, man, I just think if I don't first look to discover and search deeper than the surface of what everybody else, when they look at me and they say, oh, he cool, oh, he's swole. You know what I mean? Bitch, you could be swole as hell walking around just broke up, ready to freaking break down and cry. You see what I'm saying? But the man in you and what the world taught you you need to be got you walking around with your chest swole up because you know you keep people from asking you freaking questions. And it'll keep you from having to break down and say what's really going on inside. So we can go all over the place with it. But I guarantee you, y'all finna wake y'all game up right here. Mike.
Thank you, sir.
Hey,
first of all,
hey, can you do let's do a nutshell. And so we can, because we got a lot of people on the call. Let's try to get everybody in.
I'm gonna condense it. So Kapil, first of all, I just want to tell you thank you for your mental, spiritual, physical, moral courage to just say that in a group. Man, like seriously, I work on being that person every day. So first of all, thank you for sharing that. Because I know I'm limited. Everybody got something to say. I want to go straight to let's be 100. Addictions happen at multi levels. There's a plethora of addictions. Unfortunately, our society only puts a magnifying glass on certain addictions. Think about this. If you eat too much, if you like sex too much, if you like driving too fast, if you like alcohol, weed, cigarettes, there are so many addictions. Our society only teaches us to focus on certain addictions and then stigmatize certain addictions. What we got to realize is that one thing that happened when you start talking about addictions, we all leaned in.
Yeah.
I like women way too much. That's one of my addictions of many.
Yeah.
Of many. I'm 47 years old. I've never been married. But what I can identify with is having an addiction because there's not a person on the planet that doesn't have one. They're just stigmatized differently. So I'm convinced this, Dorian. I'm not gonna go too far. I promise. I don't want to lose my train of thought though. The other part. You know what? I'm gonna go with that because I just drew a blank, but I had a bomb to drop, and I don't know why it's
I need it.
right now. Maybe somebody else needs to chime back in.
You said we stigmatize certain stuff as far as the addictions, and we all got them.
Yep.
You gonna leave it right there?
Now, I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it right there because I had another bomb to drop, but for some reason it disappeared. So that means somebody else got something to say.
All right. Well, welcome everybody that jumped on. We talking about protecting your mental health. What does that mean for you? I tell you what, if I see a homeless person, I can think, hell no, I ain't got no change. Right? That's easy. That's almost
no
knee jerk. That's
Yeah.
almost a knee jerk. You know what I'm saying? To say something like that. Because I'm not walking in their shoes. But when I allow myself to think how many times of the day I'm ready to knee jerk, say something that'll get me, if I say the wrong thing, that'll make me lose my job. I'm ready to knee jerk respond to how somebody looked at me because of how I was raised, to slap the shit out your ass if you say the wrong thing to me. Right? I need to acknowledge that. So when I see that homeless person, I'm just keeping it 100 because we're on this call and I'm talking to men like men talk to each other, right? When I think about my mental health and I look at that homeless guy, I say, damn, but for the grace of God, there go I. Because those little moments that I just said that we could have just as easily laughed at could cause your ass a catastrophe. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna say this right here just to bring some more value, or basically shock value to the conversation. It was a guy, they put him in the gas chamber. Robert Allen Greer, I think his name was. It was about in the 90s. What he said before when his last, some of his last words was, a moment of rage can cause a person a lifetime of grief.
Yeah.
Real simple.
I like that one right there.
Real simple.
Yeah.
But watch this. That was some real mental health exercising right there.
Yeah.
Just like we talk about slapping the hell out of somebody, laughing at the homeless guy. If I don't check my mental health, bro, if I don't try to go dig deeper and figure out what's going on with my mental health, what make me tick, why I'm a flex every time somebody say something crazy to me, or just say if it is crazy, I need to keep a check on my mental health that says I'm gonna keep my cool, right? Versus tapping out. Sometimes we can tell ourselves we crazy, and that's exactly how we gonna move. That's my self-talk.
That's facts.
Right?
Hey, that's crazy. That was a big one for me though.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna share it, I'm gonna drop it, I'm gonna shoot it to you. But that's just me, bro. That's just, and then this conversation can go on and on and on, bro. You know what I mean? I done did the prison time, I done did the county time, I done did the YA time, I done did the dope time on the streets, right? So when you talk about mental health, bro, like I said, but for the grace of God, there go I. So I need to tap into that on a deeper level to say, guess what? If I ain't working it, it ain't there.
Nah, for real.
Go ahead, B.
Nah, like I was saying, like that was a big thing for me. Like, you know, ready to just jump out the bag. You know what I mean? Like, what you looking at? And it's crazy that you say that because I don't think I really, and it really came from, I think growing up, you feel like you gotta prove yourself, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? I always had that that kid at school that you took their lunch money. Like I always had that you trying to take my lunch money feeling. no matter what the situation was. I always felt like I was in the right and you was in the wrong. Period. So, that's how I justified in my mind by my actions of violence, right? And still to this day, I battle with it. I had a few situations, a couple situations since I came home that was detrimental. You know what I mean? And I had to back up like, okay, I gotta watch like my surroundings and just the energy I entangle with and the people I encounter, just the people I give my time to because I'm not that far off. You know what I'm saying on my progression timeline to just let you put your hands on me and me not react in a certain manner. So I got to be around like-minded people that's moving in a certain manner. But I say for me, what got me out of that, like just tripping and on a person just for looking and having that like that trigger, it was like I think prison being put in a place where everybody looking, like everybody looking at you. So it's like, you know what I mean? He had a bad day. You don't know what's going on with him. He just got 40. So he comes to the tier, he look and you put in a place where it's like, okay, well, I can't even trip off people just looking at that point. It's a different realm. And me just coming home and just being more so scared of myself, right? More so scared of myself and my reactions. Like, man, I don't want to go back there no more. So let me try to pause on certain shit. But it's still a battle with the mental health thing. I feel like as far as like just letting shit go. You know what I mean? Like being in a space where you can just let things go. Like when you keep getting poked and poked and poked, and you just like normally you wouldn't have let that go, but now you'd be like, damn, I'm growing a little bit because I'm starting to let certain things go that I normally am fly off the handle with.
Quick question. Do you feel like
give it to me? Let me hear it.
Do you feel like some of that anxiety or frustration being ready to lash out got to do with because of being fresh back to the streets? But does you think it got something to do with being a little bit farther behind? That you like, damn, I should be farther ahead than I am, or whatever it is.
Hey,
and then for somebody to come at me sideways, it's like you take it out on them.
Nah, bruh. Like that's what it was before I went to prison. Because I was bitter, you know what I'm saying, of the losses. But now it's like the material matter and monetary gain. I don't even see it because I got this shit in here. Like I feel like I didn't establish something within myself eternally that I just feel like priceless. Like I done mastered some shit. Like I ain't gonna say I mastered my temper all the way or my behavior all the way, but I feel like I done mastered because they said like once you got the skills, like you get the money, they can take the money from you. But once you get the skills, it's like that's something that they can never take from you. That's something that's priceless. So holistically speaking, I feel like
how could your behavior like oh man, I lost my question. I was gonna say how
could hey Dorian, when you get a minute, I want to chime in. James, I'm listening to you, bro. Go ahead. I ain't gonna cut you off.
Hey, I just wanted to finish the answer. I just wanted to finish the answer to the question, right? Of feeling like you dealing with the lack of, and that it trigger you to lash out. Like I don't feel like when I came home, I didn't feel like I was lacking. Like money wise, like I didn't even think about it. You know what I'm saying? I felt like I didn't gain so much as far as just mastering my craft and my ability to do what I'm trying to do. It's like I feel like it's a time lapse, right? And I feel like intertwining certain energy and taking my time to deal with certain things hindered me in the past from actually excelling in my progression timeline. I feel like just in trying to be the greatest at what I do, right? And I feel like okay, I have my plan, and just I feel great about it. But at the same time, it'd be frustrating when you're not acknowledged and you're not treated of the great, even though you ain't put the work in yet and it ain't duly noted, publicly noted. But it's like just the feeling I get, like you got some shit that's just like next level, and you like you got that feeling every time you come outside, like this shit next level. But then when I see you, your energy still affect me because the way you looking at me is like not next level. So I'm like, that's the part that affect me. But as far as lashing out, not make me want to just go harder as far as in my craft, like and just what I'm doing. It made me want to go harder a little bit.
So,
Hey, can I tap in on
Most definitely. I want to hear it.
James, man? Thanks for sharing that experience. So we going back to like mental health and protecting your mental health. And I'm listening to Kapil, and I'm listening to James, and I'm listening to two things. And I'm listening
Okay.
to an outcome of decisions and the cure, or how do you rehabilitate after you experience that outcome. I had a conversation with Dorian. I said, look, man, I said, life is like this. If I get shot, we can talk about the best surgeon to remove this bullet from my wound, or we can focus on why was I standing in front of a gun that shot a bullet at me in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody here got a scar, a scab, a bullet hole, a stab. And it's whatever your life went through. You could be born with silver spoons and got molested by 3 of your siblings, right? That's a scar. We all got, it don't matter what walk of life you come from, we all walk around with scars, right? And I was talking to Dorian, and I'm like, man, like when you talk to me about how do you protect your mental health, I'm like, the scars that I have made me who I am today. But if I really want to protect my mental health, I got to figure out how not to be in a position to be operated on to remove another bullet. Does that resonate with anybody?
Preventative maintenance.
Preventative maintenance. So I'm looking at this screen right now, and I see people from all different walks of life, and everybody in front of me got their own story, right? And I'm looking at all y'all. I'm like, look, we can share our bullet wounds. We can share our scrapes, bruises. We can share the best way to remove a bullet. Let's start sharing how not to get those injuries again.
Oh, I love that.
Let's start sharing how to heal the wounds we got and make sure we don't end up in a space. But hold on. Most importantly, if you hear on this screen right now, you have the ability to prevent somebody else from taking the bullet.
Yeah.
That part.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody on this screen has the goal and the mental fortitude to look at another dude and look at him and be like, bro, you okay? Because you're looking like you're going through some stuff right now. And I don't even know you, but I'll pull you to the side because you should probably talk to me. Because I've been down that road before, and I'm going to tell you, at the liquor store, you don't make a right. You turn left, dude. And it's a chapel or it's a bookstore or it's a mathematician on the corner. Let's go talk to him.
So my quick question.
I'm trying to keep it short, Dorian.
Would you say that your mental health and protecting your mental health has anything to do with understanding who you are?
Absolutely. It's at the core of that.
Okay,
and
can
it's
I
at
chime
the
in?
core. Yeah.
So
Let me finish this. It's at the core of me knowing who I am, but also at the core of me understanding that I'm not completely found. And I have to constantly seek direction every day in every encounter. And I get the most direction when I have the moral fortitude to help the next man. One thing that's so coincidental in my life, when I choose to help somebody, I am actually helping myself. They are a blessing to me because I choose to bless them.
Yeah.
I'm getting goosebumps right now.
Right.
I'm not gonna tell the story about the dude that I met at the liquor store, and I said, dude, I'm gonna buy that.
We got you.
Tell that another time.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you though, I had a moment to do something for somebody else for no other reason. Found out the only reason why he was in the liquor store was to buy some liquor for somebody else, and everybody in his life had used him. And he said, dude, do you know you're the first person in my whole life that offered to do something for me? He said, now let me share something with you. I'm like, what? What's up? He said, you know, when I was born, the doctor said I would never walk again. He said, I didn't take that, bro. He said, I'll walk in front of you right now. He hit me with that at a moment where I'm not having my best day, right? And I'm like, if he was told he wouldn't walk again, how the fuck can I complain about the shit that I'm going through? But at
Man,
that time, when I thought that I was blessing him, he was truly blessing me.
Yeah.
Think about that, man. Look, I saw him hobbling, and I chose him because he wasn't walking right. And I'm like,
and
damn,
he
he gains
helped
a six
you.
pack. He might be trying to numb his shit. And he helped me because he wasn't even there to numb himself. He was there because he had somebody that was taking advantage of him. He's like, hey, I'm out of money. Can you go give me a pack? He's like, bro, I got you. And what I said is, I got you. And he told me at that moment, ain't nobody ever told him that. But he gave me a message that was bigger than what I was trying to offer him.
Right.
But,
Right.
I
Right.
would have chimed in,
So
right?
when I
Like,
think full circle, wait, full circle, and I'm out. Full circle. So when I think about protecting mental health or healing mental health, I'm like, those are the moments, right? We all got addictions, but those are the moments that pump us with the most antibiotics, right? That heal us the most. So okay. I'm gonna
All
let it
right,
ride.
hold on. Directionally, check this out. When I think about my mental health, I really do start with who am I? Right? Who am I? Not who I was told I am, but who I choose to be. Right? And then in asking who I am, even within the confines of who I choose to be, I start asking questions, right? Because I could be in a crapshoot and don't know it because I'm asking the wrong questions. And one thing about me, like I say, for as mental health, bro, I struggle, but I feel like the asking questions gives me a better footing because I give myself a chance to identify what I rock with and what I don't rock with. And another question, why? See what I'm saying? And that mental health aspect for me comes from the fact that I feel like, and if anybody read my book, they'll see in there where I spoke about feeling like I was lied to all my life because of the different narratives. There it is. There it is. He's able. Because of the different narratives, man, that we be told. And it's like, in some arenas, you would sound like you losing it or something to ask those questions and to question and challenge the narrative. But in other arenas, when you allow yourself to be conscious and ask questions, people nod their head in approval because they know they had them same challenges that if they didn't start asking questions, they was going to continue to be stepped on, walked on, overlooked, passed over, right? Because you didn't ask the type of question. You're not going to emancipate yourself. So if I'm lost in the shuffle of the narrative, it's going to be easy for my mental health to be whatever somebody else tell me it should be. So I protect my mental health by asking questions, by feeding myself relevant information that's pertinent to me. I'm
I
waiting.
like it. I like to chime
It's
in.
somebody I'm waiting to hear from. You know who you is.
Is it me or who was it?
You know who you is.
I just want to say a few words, man, because real quick about the
Okay.
protecting mental health. Like I'm guarding mine with barbed wire, and I realize I'm like water. So it's like other people's energy, it affects me. Other people's like mental construct or what they think. Cause I feel like Kanye when he got that sweat, like you ain't got the answers. Like that's how I feel. Like we could sit in here and we could talk about what works for you, and we could kind of like feel like that's what's gonna work for the next person. When they some shit that you ain't never even fathomed, you because we all different. Our DNA, we all different. I feel like your personal connection with the creator, those are where those questions should go. Like for me, I'm getting answers from the creator. And sometimes I go against the answers. Like I don't do what I'm hearing. Like I'll be like,
Right.
oh, I'm supposed to be doing this, but I go against it a little bit. That's because I'm not that far in my progression. But it be like dealing with other people's fuckery, right? Because we got moments of peace, fragments of peace that we hold on to, right? And it grows to something bigger than something bigger. So I'm just now grasping the fragments of eternal peace, right? And I realize the caliber of people that have been intertwined with my life had a major effect on my mental health. So now it's like I'm protecting it from these people. And now it's like, they feel some type of way, but it don't make me feel no type of way. You know what I'm saying? But so they're definitely trying to intervene with my life and my energy on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying? So I'm in a battle of protecting my mental health from dealing with other people's fuckery. Because it's like I identify we all got our stresses of life, right? You got to pay the bill, take care of the kids, you struggling, whatever the case may be. I'm barely, you know what I'm saying, surviving, but I feel amazing. And I understand that I can have less and I feel better than some of the people I see. And I'll be like, yeah, I don't want to deal with you. And it affects them in a way to where they want to fuck up my little fragments of peace. So it's like I got to get to a space where my environment is different. It's like what I heard when I was watching 19 Keys. It resonated with me about the snake in the cage, right? The snake can only grow to its environment. You put the snake in this little cage, it's only going to grow, you know what I'm saying, is to fill the cage. Until you get into a bigger cage, it's going to flourish. So I feel like that about my environment and the caliber of people that I'm encountering in my realm, you know what I'm saying, to where I can get my vibrations and my fragments of peace on a higher level to now I can deal with all walks of life and all different types of energy and it won't affect my mental health. And I feel like I care, so I always want to do and take from. And it's like, you got to get to a space where your vibration and your peace is on tens, but can't nothing affect it. And that's my biggest thing. Like, I be good by myself. In solitude, I'm happy. It's creating with the creator. I'm on a higher level. You know what I'm saying? As soon as I intertwine with a lower vibration or a judgmental casted doubt on what I believe my next level is, because the ego dissolves with me. I had the ego thing bad of who I think I need to be. You create this alter ego and this extra tough guy. That shit didn't dissolve. You know what I'm saying with me? So now it's more so protecting my mental health as far as protecting it amongst other energy and amongst other casted doubt. The casted doubt affects me. You know what I'm saying? When you know you're great, like say you like Jordan before he hit the league in college, you already know you Jordan, but you ain't got the chance to show it on the platform. So the casted doubt is so loud, it's affecting your energy and it's affecting your vibration when you're amongst it. You feel what I'm saying? That's like the energy vortex. It's like if you feeling this type of way and you're around me, our auras intertwining. So you throwing me off with that bullshit. And I realize like it affects my mental health. So I got to get around people that just think the world of me or like pump me up, like see what a nigga could be and see the potential. Like, man, that nigga great. Like he can be this, that, and the third. There's no casted doubt. The casted doubt is so powerful. We don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? Thoughts is power, and the feeling behind this will bring it back to you. You know what I'm saying? So I identify with that. But back on the mental health, that's like the main thing that affected my mental health is the casted doubt amongst the people that I cared about or had love for. You know what I'm saying? And it might not mean like I don't think you can do this. It's like I know what I'm doing. Like I know you can do it. I see the shit before you seen it, but I gotta throw you off. Like what Jordan did in the game. Like I'm gonna talk shit to you all game, fuck you up, get it all in your mental. You know what I'm saying? So you get to miss your shots, and that's what affects my mental health. So I realized that. So I'm guarding it. I'm protecting it. But I ain't. Punches is getting through still. You know what I mean? So
yeah, they will. But that's how you get to that greatness, though. You gotta absorb some punches.
Yeah,
bound to get up,
to get better, right? That because it ain't been tested. When it get tested, then you like you say, you protected with barbed wire. You done been through the fire. You know. I want to hear from Mr. Tim, bro. We gonna be cutting it short in about 5 or 6 minutes. So Tim, I know you got something from my spirit, bro.
Well, man, grace and peace to you, my brothers. This is huge. Ever since I met Dorian and then read the book and participated in these forums and then hear the discussions, which are real and relevant, I wrote down some notes, which really was touching me here because you'll hear my dog. My son just came in. My dog wants my son. It says, men who don't share, shoot. Men who don't share, shoot. We shoot dope. We shoot shots of alcohol. We shoot weapons. We may shoot that to our homegirl, but men who don't share or have forums to sharpen one another, that's what we do. And so when we're talking about, mental healthiness, a real mind, a straight mind, a strong spirit, oftentimes we don't have that because we isolate ourselves, because we think that if we are transparent, then of course the world teaches us we're going to be crushed by that transparency. And so this is real. This is huge to be able to come, because same with me. I began fighting my addiction, 20 years clean now. And I think I may be the grandpa on the scene now. I'll be 64 next year. And I started fighting that fight, in my 40s, and got that victory. And of course, it was through faith. It was through a higher power's understanding something greater than I. It was really understanding what was real. But the real strength of sustainability actually comes from brothers. Just like my brother was saying, James was saying, being around positive, real men who, aren't afraid to be transparent, because, it's not, I'll never say to somebody, what's wrong with you? But I will ask a person, what happened? Tell me your story. Right? Because something happened to all of us. And the truth of the matter is, if it wasn't for the grace of God, I'd be standing in that corner talking to myself. If it wasn't for the grace of God, I'd be buried 10 feet under. I've been married 36 years now, and if it wasn't for the grace of God, that wouldn't have happened. Right? If it wasn't, as we say in the church, I don't look like what I've been through. But the truth of the matter is my sustainability comes from having real men, not the people who just talk a lot, but there's no evidence in their life. There's no transformation in their life. There's no reality in their life. There's those who really say, man, I've been through some hell and back. And so my final saying is, in order to get to the breakthrough, you got to deal with the background of the breakdown.
I am my brother's keeper.
Yeah. In order to get to the breakthrough, we got to deal with the background of the breakdown. Because again, men who don't share, we shoot.
Absolutely.
That's what we do. And it's cool, Dorian, that you opened up a forum. This is a powerful book if your brothers didn't get it. Absolutely. In fact, I got my boys reading it also, because that's what we need as men. We iron sharp, cotton can't sharpen me. Cotton can't, it might be able to shine me up a little bit, but cotton can't sharpen me. Iron. And I think this forum right here is strong iron and it's fire, and I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Damn.
Hey, plans change, and I looked at the time, but I wanted to jump on at the end, at least make a prep and hear what you guys were talking about. But based on what you were just saying, I mean, that's, the whole phrase of "I am my brother's," that's what that always meant to me, was you're not protect your brother, your actual sibling. You're there to protect men, your brothers in arms. You're there to support each other and to be there when they need you. That's what that always meant to me. That's it. When you talking about that, it just reminded me of that.
That's huge. Those of us who've been in the military, I did the military, grew up in, New York City, the whole gamut, traveled the planet. And the truth of the matter is, if anything, and I work in schools now with our youth who in, the transitional schools, just got out of Kiefer, got the ankle bracelets on. And these are young kings. These are 14. I would love it. And that was something else I was thinking about just now. If I could have all 6 of us one day go to the school and speak into them, because see, they don't see tomorrow. They don't see tomorrow.
Brother, I'll do it.
They don't have a vision of tomorrow, right? And a lot of them, they don't know how to get home. There was something that we were taught because we made it, you know, to the ages that, but we learned how to get home.
But how do we teach that? Because when we were that young, we were the same way.
By being transparent like this, by being real, like this, by telling that story and letting them see it's real, that you can make it, and through the real trauma, that because all of us have had historical trauma, you know, acute trauma, chronic trauma. You know, we've all had trauma. But, you know, if we walk around, you know, like we a bag of chips and all that and don't share, you know, what we've been through, then they don't really they don't think trauma is real. There is tribulation. It is hard out there, right? But the truth of the matter is, you know, we can do all things. And those of us who have that faith experience and we begin to discover that he never leaves us, he never forsakes us. When I went to the dope house, he went in there with me, because if he hadn't, I wouldn't have came out.
Right.
If he hadn't been, and a lot of people say, you know, they say, Tim, how'd you make it? What did you do? And why did the Lord save you? And my answer is super simple. It is super simple. It is super simple. And the answer is because I asked him to. That's it. I said, Lord, get me out of this. Lord, deliver me from this. It's simple. And when you ask him, he's faithful and just, and he'll do it. And the ones who didn't get out, the ones who didn't get out, they didn't ask him.
Right.
But it's that simple. He got me out because I asked him to. And same thing, you know, cocaine addiction, almost $3,000 a month.
You was counting?
It was $3,000 a month.
Damn.
That's back in the day. That ain't these days prices. That's back in the day.
Yeah.
I had to leave my family for a year. My oldest now, he was 10. He's 35 now. My middle guy, he was 8. He's 32 now. And my baby, 20, he'll be 23. He wasn't even born yet. So he knows nothing about it. He knows nothing about it. But here's what's interesting. Because that same spirit jumped into him, my 20, and he knew nothing about it. And that same kind of spirit jumped into him. And that's why it's so important that we speak truth and we speak life, and you know, we cast that negativity. I love what the brother was saying about, you know, the negativity. You got to cast that negativity out of your environment, because it'll jump on.
Hey,
for sure.
Brother Tim, you brought something full frontal that helped me a lot in my journey, man. When you mentioned the source, you connected to the source, you know, and what I'm relating that to is the ability to become, like you say, transparent, the ability to become vulnerable in any situation, that you can be that person without regret, without shame, without being embarrassed, and be the true who, like brother spoke on some stuff that happened to him as a child. I got stuff that went on in my life as a child, growing up, fights, bullying, all the rest of this stuff. And now share that with somebody that might be going through it right now, because it's affecting them right now. And they're seeing a walking, living, breathing product of somebody that came up out of that same situation. I've had to deal with the same stuff. Now, because of my vulnerability, like you said, transparency, now the door is open for them to say, how did you deal with that?
Yeah.
Right? So when we talk about how do we, like Zach said, how do we do it? How not just being my brother's keeper, but how am I my brother's keeper? I got to get some practice at that too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I got to get some practice at it, bro. You can't just say you about that life and don't show up. Like, I'm a motivational speaker, but I question myself sometimes, like, bro, somebody give you a big engagement right now. What you going to do? You going to fumble? No, I practice my craft all the time. I'm shooting 3,000, like 1,000 free throws a day with the motivational speaking. I'm looking at how many different angles I could come up with to keep on pushing this same thing that's going to wake somebody's game up, whether it be talking to adults or we talking to the youth that need to hear it. We all need to hear it, right?
Yeah.
So that's the brother's keeper, and that was a dope saying. That was spot on. But no, thank you for that, bro, because that's it. The source. Do you have a connection with the source? Because
Right.
all that shit you saying you gonna do and you can do on your own, you lying.
Mhm.
You might not be lying to me because I
Stop.
might know better, but you're lying to your damn self if
Mhm.
you ain't got the source backing you up, dog.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. So, like I said, find him for yourself. I ain't the one to push you in no direction. Right? And then watch how easy the mental health game become because you know you ain't got the control and figure every damn thing out.
Right.
Mm.
I don't think we got no control.
There's
We
never,
don't got no control.
you have to accept that you have no control over anything.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to accept the fact that you have control over anything. You got to accept.
Crucifying self on a daily basis is not easy.
Yeah.
It's not.
But once you understand the power and the life that you can experience by simply crucifying self.
Yeah.
Because we in our own way, right? You know, and it's interesting because again, we don't have a might, we don't have a power. Greater is he that's in me than he that's in the, but we do have a power once you're connected to do all things. And so we're not limited once we're connected. And it's not, the connection is not necessarily, for me, the connection is, so like you said, Dorian, I could be a blessing to somebody else. I can live an above reproach life for somebody else. I can be a testimony for somebody else. I can let them know, dude, let me tell you, I know what tweaking is.
What?
I know what being on the floor is. I know what that is. Okay, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know, and only because of the grace of God, you know, that he got me out, and I'm married, right? I'm in it. What at that time I must have been in my marriage because now it's going on 36, so I must have been in my marriage then about 15 years.
Ooh.
You know, and I got 2 little cats that I'm raising, and you know, I'm in the car business, so I'm making good money, and so I was able to hide it. I was able to keep it away because one of the things my grandfather taught me, which I'm so thankful for, he said, "Don't boo-boo where you can smell it."
Yeah. Don't shit where you.
So if you're gonna do dirty, go somewhere where if a strong wind blow it don't. So I never brought it in my house.
Yeah.
I never brought it around my family. They never saw it, right? Now I'm not saying that for any pat or congratulation, but I thank God they didn't, right? But the truth of the matter was, you know, it was about to take me under, and I had to really confess that to my wife first. And then at that time, I was even ministering then. I had to confess that to a church when I got back. I had to go in front of a church when I got back from U-Turn for Christ in Hemet. You ever been to Hemet, California?
Mm-hmm.
It's in the desert. It's in the Mojave Desert. That's where this place was. Where if you wanted to leave, you ain't going nowhere. Miles of desert, right? And when I got back, you know, the Spirit was telling me, you got to confess that out, you know, publicly. And I'm like, I ain't doing that. Ain't no way in the world I'm doing that. I'm not doing that. And the Spirit said, you're not going to be totally free until you do. And I remember the night, and this was at a historical church here, right here in Sacramento. There was almost 600 people there because they didn't know where I was. They didn't know where I had gone. They didn't know what, they thought I was in jail or something. And so when I came back, and it was the most powerful night of my entire life. Because once that confession went forth publicly like that, it was like that dark cloud. I mean, people were crying. There was no condemnation. There was no accusation. It was a total liftment of that burden and that freedom. And before I knew it, other people were now coming out of that closet, out of that bondage, confessing that they're still bound up in it. That's the power of the confession. That's the power of the transparency. And when you're real, because again, the enemy wants you to stumble back. The enemy wants you to go because people are, you know, I still got some cousins today. Now he'll slip back. No, he's going to fall back. No, he's going to relapse. No, they're still they're going to speak. Just that's why I like what that brother was saying, James. You got to get away from that, or you got to turn that into a positive and let that be your motivation.
Yeah.
Baby girl, did she call you yet?
But I want to chime in.
Hold up. Hey,
I think like your testimony.
go ahead, B. I want to get Frank in there because we're gonna shut it off after this.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, hey, thanks. Oh man, thank you all for inviting me into this. I definitely like the camaraderie that everyone has, and I'm saying I was in the military. I just recently retired, but I do believe you're as good as your team, and I believe in getting yourself positioned correctly. But what I mean by that is if there's certain situations that make me have that knee-jerk reaction, I call that my caveman mentalities. I try to avoid those situations. And unfortunately, you can't avoid them all. So I work on trying to like de-escalate situations first, and then maybe with some witty banter, might talk them down, and then I'll just walk away. But in my mind, everything that I do is for a greater purpose. I'm not saying just all for the creator or anyone specifically, but my immediate response is the type of person that I want to be for my kids, my family, my wife. So I feel like if I falter, I fail, then I hurt the whole family, and I don't want to hurt my family because I hold that in very high regard. And then finance is obviously the other side of that, but family first, finance next, and it's pretty much, in line with faith, and try to surround myself around more positive people and not be around so many negative Nancy's that would rather just try to put you down to make themselves feel better. But I would rather try to bring everybody up with me, whoever's willing to listen. But I'm not here to impose any one thing or views that I have on any situation, but just give you some insight on how I view a situation or a situational problem. Maybe it works for you, maybe it don't. Take what you need from it and then just go on about your business. But I'm not here to change anyone's mind on any situation. But if I could help you get there further, faster, then I'll definitely do that. And thanks for having me on the show.
Glad to
Jay, it looked like you the cleanup man.
Now, I just want to chime in on what Brother Timothy was saying about the testimony. I that's the full package, I feel like, and I don't know, like I just was told like get these materials to make the full package. Like I just was told you need this, this, and this to make the full package. And I'm just trying to get those ingredients, man, to put the full package together and then be able to get a testimony. You know what I mean? But I feel like progression isn't on no other person's timeline. I feel like we put so much emphasis on speediation of progression, and it's patience. Take your time. Everything good come in time. The grass gonna grow again. It takes time to get yourself all the way acclimated and get yourself all the way together. Talking about it, I feel like helps, but talking about it to me, like I've been talked about it for years, and it just fell on deaf ears. Now I talk about it in my music, and it's healthy for me to let it ooze on the paper. You know what I mean? And that's my release. And I'm like probably almost 500 songs in, and it just feels good to me to release it on paper. And I'm growing every day, and I'm putting together the package. But back on family, I feel like coming from dysfunction with the mental health of the family as a whole, it isn't all the way together as far as togetherness and building as a family's supposed to be in that same structure. So then we look and point at everything of the reason why, and we shove it under the rug, and we only speak about different parts and point our finger at the cause and try to act like it's perfect when it's not. And I just was one person that knew it wasn't perfect, and this shit ain't cool. You feel me? And it's like I gotta get away from it to be able to help it. I feel like they said money don't buy happiness, but hey, some people say you don't know what to shop. I feel like if we're living in our divine purpose in nature, right, and we're happy in spirit, everything good gonna come. You know what I mean? But a lot of people are suffering, and they put their suffering on other people, hurt people. So it's like you see me like healing. If you see me healing, and I might have a misstep and drink a beer or two in this month, I've drunk one or two, right? Don't bash me or be mad at me. You know what I'm saying? Applaud me for all the good you've been seeing in the progress. You know what I'm saying? But you can only like for instance, like I done studied a lot as far as with healing holistically and looking at my family tree of like the people I can help once I'm in a certain position of fully detoxifying my body and fully rising to the highest vibration. And it's like I realized something the other day, right, that really hurt my heart a little bit. I realized even when I get to that state, the highest state of consciousness, I'm still not gonna be able to heal the people that I love that's closest to me unless they're free. Like I can't violate their free will. They got to give me permission to heal them. And some people don't want to be healed or don't want to be helped. And for me, that's what kind of like hurt me and affect my mental health to go back to it. So the care factor, I think you got to be numb to it. Like when you care a lot and you be like, damn, I know exactly what to do. But because of my financial position, and just the way you view me in your movie, because we all got our own movie of life, right? And I just want to make this quick. I go in your movie theater and I see the character being played to me, and that's your perception of me, and I'm looking like that ain't me, right? That ain't how I view myself. And then you go in my movie and you look at yourself and you like that ain't how I view myself. So we all got our perception of how we see things. So by the way you view me, I'm unable to assist you, and that's what gives me my that's what gives me my extra battery in the back and makes me feel good is sharing information and things I'm trying to do with other people that make me want to do it more. You know what I'm saying? But I just wanted to end it with that.
Drop the mic then.
Well,
Drop the,
Hey,
walk off.
I want to throw something real quick.
that
This really sucks because I missed this conversation. It sounds like it was just one of the best.
no, it's good.
But-
I'm getting better with the
But man, I
putting them
just
out faster. So yeah, coming soon. Just check the channel.
something.
That was gas, Jay. That was gas, man.
Nah, it was just real. Just what I've been
Yep.
going through the last 7 months since I've been free, and just
Yeah.
you know, it kind of been. Yeah, I've been letting it hinder me, but now I've been taking my power back a little bit.
Yeah.
So something I've been working on lately, something that I've kind of realized with myself, and maybe y'all can agree with, think about it. So when we're young, when we went through all our shit, we were vulnerable. We were innocent. We didn't know no better, you know, and we all went through horrible shit. And that hardened us and put shells on us and built walls. And like brother was talking about earlier, we don't talk. As men who are hardened, we don't talk about anything that is especially them horrible memories. We don't say nothing to nobody. I've tried to learn to do is that we were and innocent and went through all this stuff and we're hardened by it. So right now I'm trying to learn how to be vulnerable again, but to be wise about being vulnerable, to accept it's okay to be vulnerable and still have a wall, but to choose the people to be vulnerable and to pay attention to the good things around me, you know, the good people that are around me, like a family in the grocery store that, you know, the kid drops something where you have an immediate flashback where my daddy would fucking the hand upside my head, and then the person just picks up, hey, blah blah blah, and you see that, and then you start picking else, and then you start realizing that there are a lot of in this world that are trying the hardest to do good. And I think that goes back to where I'm saying it's learning to be vulnerable, but wise to be vulnerable and accept it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, everything is about timing. You can't be, it's like power. You can't be a fool with power. You know what I mean? And that even vulnerability can be a form of power.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It takes that too. That's a crazy segue into me finishing out the call, because I got a thing about being able to observe power, being able to wield power, and being able to protect against power.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And so when you understand that your power is yours no matter what, the thing about power is that you have a choice on how you're going to use it. See what I'm saying? So just like somebody's using the power, a lot of time power comes with the laws of attraction as well. See what I'm saying? Because I can't use my power on somebody who's not effective on.
Mm.
You know what I mean? But some people wield that power negatively. It
Right.
don't. Hey, guess what? It's the same. It's as powerful for negative as it is for positive.
Right.
So that's the whole thing, is understanding how to harness that power and when to use it. Develop it, of course, and then use it for what it's for its intended purpose.
Right.
So even
And
if
what-
it's being vulnerable, you can take that and use it for a specific purpose.
Right. And I mean that as a vast, as far as like accepting
Yeah.
people,
Yeah, no, I got you. I got you.
let your guard
So we-
down, people in. So.
Yeah, but we're gonna wrap it with that, man. Because we could probably keep going. But no, I appreciate everybody being on, man. The time was well spent, in my opinion. You know, I just want to say, man, blessings on everybody on the call, man. Let everything that you touch, your steps, your voice, your hands, produce nothing but good, and have a positive impact. We're gonna tap it with that and wrap it with that. I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one.
I mean, y'all have a good